in about a few days, like 4 days maybe, something like that. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kat. I'm based in the Bay Area, but originally from SoCal. I just graduated from Cal Poly SLO, and now I'm just doing YouTube. I'm trying to make a lot of cute little travel vlogs, cozy videos, that kind of vibe. So if you like that, just subscribe and follow for more. Alright, so to get into today's video, I'm going to talk about Japan travel prep. So I've been to Japan actually 4 times before. The first time was when I was 12 and I was with a student group. It was really fun. We got to really immerse ourselves into the culture. We stayed with host families, things like that, like other students, and you know, it was a great opportunity to travel with friends, and it was a really fun trip. And ever since then I fell in love and I kept going back with family. But this time this is gonna be my 5th time, which is so crazy to say, but I'm going with my boyfriend Ryan, and I'm super excited to go. And I pretty much did all the planning for this trip because I love planning and stuff like that. For this video, we're going to talk about how you can plan your trip, what apps you should get, and just general tips for going to Japan. And then the second half of this video will be my trip planning, so items I'm bringing, bookings I made for Japan in advance, and then just talking about the services I'm getting done to get ready for this trip. Okay, so I have my notes with me, so I'll be reading off of that, but the first thing is how to start planning your trip. So I know it's going to be overwhelming to, like, if you've never planned a trip before or just not knowing where to start, but as someone who is an older sister and also the group traveler and planner and everything, I know how to plan things, so I got you. I'll definitely start by discussing important details with like who's going on this trip, what dates, and what's your budget. Think about your vacation days off, or if you're in school or if you're at work, just think about what dates you want to go and like what is realistic for your timeline. First thing I like to do usually is to start off with a master Google Doc. And that's where I keep all my information on. I share it with the people who are involved in that trip. I like to keep my doc organized, and I utilize the different pages that I can make with it so it's not all just jumbled on one page. And I always start by listing off on the first page who's going, what are the dates, and then I start drafting up a whole money estimate guide. So the money estimate guide will include things like flights, accommodations, transportation. I will also include food, activities, and shopping as well. So for the money estimate that you're going to be drafting up, you want to make sure to not give yourself enough leeway. Like, how much do you realistically think you're going to be spending? Make sure to overestimate rather than underestimate, or else later you're going to be confused why you ended up spending so much more than you thought you would. And that's not Japan specific. I feel like you can apply any of this towards any other trips you're doing. So personally, I have 2 planning docs for my trip. So I have that shared with my boyfriend who's going with me. So one doc has all the fun stuff like daily itinerary ideas, things to do, so on. And the other doc has all the bookings. So anything from planes, accommodations, like Airbnb or hotels, and then anything that I booked for the trip. So whenever I add anything in the booking doc, I make sure to include pictures and receipts or like QR codes for booking confirmations, and I also include the price. So for the other document, which would be all the fun planning stuff, I start by listing any and all ideas of things that I would want to do on this trip. So I started off honestly going on like TikTok or anything and looking at travel recommendations, what are popular, like you can put the most popular tourist things or like the most niche things, just put any ideas you have on this list. And then later on, just like I would go through and really refine that list to make sure I would have a more day-to-day specific itinerary. But one thing you do want to be conscious of when making a schedule is that you're not overpacking it. Especially for a place like Japan, it's really nice to just wander sometimes, just organically find things on your own. So make sure that you plan out some big activities, because you do have to book a lot of things in advance for Japan, but you don't want to be moving from appointment to appointment to appointment. You want to leave some time to be able to wander and like explore the city a little. Like, what if you pass by a store that you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had time to go in, but I have to go to a different area now for a different reservation. Like, you don't want to be doing that the whole time. Make sure you leave some time to explore. So just talking about all that itinerary stuff, that brings us to the next section of this video, which would be what apps I recommend downloading specifically for a Japan trip. So the best way to put an itinerary together would be with the app Wanderlog. I swear I recommend this app to literally everyone all the time, and it's because it's the best. Like, my friend is also going to Japan later on this year, and I got him on that. I got him on the Wanderlog grind because it's just so useful. It's a free-to-use app, and this is not sponsored, by the way. I just love it. It's a free-to-use app, and it will show you like the distance relative from spot to spot. So for example, if I wanted to get from like, I don't know, from one activity to another, and then later I know I want to do this other activity, it will like it'll just show me where everything is on the map, so like I know what days I could put things on because they're all next to each other, so I won't be going like all around Tokyo finding different things to do. Instead, I'll have like this area or this area, and because I know it's in that area together. So if you do have the pro version, which you do have to pay for, then it can optimize the route for you, and that is wonderful. Right now I have the pro version. It saves you a lot of time long term. It can tell you how many minutes you saved, and I know there's even a function on this app that includes like you can add attachments or include costs for each location. Another app that I recommend is Peiki. I found this recommendation through TikTok, and it's a wonderful app that lets you scan different Japanese products. Sometimes you'll be overwhelmed like in a Don Quixote or in a drugstore like in the middle of the night, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to shop but this is overwhelming because I don't know what everything is, especially since the labels are usually all in Japanese. So you just pull up the little app, and you'll scan the little barcode that's on the product, and it'll give you a whole description of like what the product is, and it'll give you ounce amount or like how much liquid, and I'm pretty sure it also gives you some other information. So it does have the barcode scan feature. It also shows what other products a lot of people are loving, so like the top products. It just gives you all this information that you would not get just by like reading the label in Japanese. The next app that I recommend you getting is the Japan Auto Wi-Fi Connect app. It's an app that I haven't tried yet since I just found out about it, but I will be using it on this trip. It's pretty straightforward. The app is something that you download, and then it automatically connects you to any free Wi-Fi that's near you in Japan. Another app that I have not used in Japan yet, but it has come in handy in the United States, is Flush. This app just shows you the nearest free public bathrooms, and don't quote me on this, but I think it also can show you like the master codes for any of the bathrooms that have codes. Like, I actually used this app when I was up here in the Bay Area, and it's very useful. I've used it in Los Angeles as well, and like finding a public bathroom is super hard sometimes. Okay, so the last app that I recommend is Klook, and I'm sure you've all seen the ads for this on TikTok or wherever. Like, a lot of content creators use it, but that's for a reason. This is also not sponsored. All these apps are not sponsored. This is just me loving it. It makes bookings very easy. So I used it to book my Shinkansen tickets. I also use it to book a day trip to Mount Fuji and a kimono rental. Like, it's just a lot of different things that you can book on there, whether it be like eSIM or train tickets or activities, and the app often has a lot of discounts and promotions as well, which is really helpful, and I've gotten a lot of my things in discount too. Okay, so here are some tips that I have. These are definitely not all my tips for like Japan planning, but these are the ones that I wrote out and thought of today to talk about in this video. I think that Japan planning is certainly easier when you have a smaller group. And I mean, traveling anywhere with a large amount of people is going to be pretty hard. Even if you're in the city that you live in, finding reservations for dinner or anything is going to be harder if you have like your family of 10 or something like that. I'm not saying to leave family members behind or just cancel the trip. I'm just saying to really consider that when you're choosing Japan. A lot of people have seen that like it's easier to travel in groups of like 4 or less because, I don't know, some of the restaurants are pretty small. There's a lot of different things here and there to consider for that. Also because when you travel with people have different preferences of what they want to do, what they want to see, what they want to eat. Don't make this the trip that breaks up your friend group. If you have friends or if family or whoever you're going with, that, or yourself maybe, that are vegetarian, I found that Japan is pretty hard for people who do have dietary restrictions. It's not common for people to ask for food substitutions or like asking to change their foods at restaurant. That's not really a thing that they do in Japan. It's considered kind of rude to modify your food, and you kind of have to take it as it is. I'm not vegetarian or vegan or have any kind of restrictions like that, but I did travel with my friend before who was vegetarian, and I know that she ended up eating a lot of like granola bars and just seaweed, and it was not the most enjoyable for her, but I think she still had a pretty fun time. Just keep that in mind. And I think one tip that I've heard online is to look for like kind of Buddhist set menus since they are vegetarian as well. Tip number 2, for my skincare and makeup fanatics, just make sure that you know like what your hair porosity is. I know that's a term that I like recently heard on TikTok. I don't know if it's even like I'm pretty sure it's a real term, but it's basically talking about like how your hair holds to products. And my hair, I think, is pretty low porosity. Like if I put on certain hair masks or anything, sometimes the product will just feel like it's like sticky on top of my hair, like it's not really absorbing. So just keep that in mind, because some products that are pretty viral and stuff like that might work for most people but might not work for you. Like the ant honey shampoos I've seen everywhere. Maybe I just got the wrong one, but when I got it, it didn't really work for my hair, even though I love the scent, I love the packaging. it just wasn't that good for me. Tip number 3 is something I already mentioned, but don't overbook your schedule. So make sure that you like book some things in advance, but definitely don't overbook your schedule to where you're going from activity to activity. And when you do have activities that you're doing, just make sure you're doing a mix of like more traditional activities, like looking at temples and like maybe trying a tea ceremony, something like that. Don't just go all like shopping, anime stuff. Like, make sure to immerse yourself in the culture. It's really beautiful. If anyone tries to tell me that I go to Japan so many times because I love anime, actually, no, I actually only recently started liking anime. The first times that I ever went when I was younger, I was simply just appreciative of the nature there. It's beautiful. I did love Ghibli, you know, but it's just beautiful there. I love the culture, I love the food, I love a lot of the music. It's a really nice place to go to. I'm kind of losing count here, but I think it's number 4. So tip number 4, make sure to be respectful. Make sure to look up a lot of the different kind of like rules that you have to follow in there. So I'm just gonna list a few of them that I've like learned or have done over time from like traveling there so many times. So I've realized these are rules or seen other people talk about these being rules. So number 1 is that you make sure that you stay on the right side of the escalator. And by right, I don't mean directionally right. I mean like correct, sorry. So I think Tokyo and Osaka definitely switches, but you just kind of follow what people are doing. Just don't stand in the middle of the escalator because a lot of people like to like rush past you. So just stand on one side. Another thing is to not eat while you're walking. This, I've heard mixed things where people are like, it doesn't really matter, it kind of matters. You know, I think as long as you're not being super obnoxious about it, like try not to do it. You know, I think coming from America, a lot of people like to be on the go. I don't really know the reason for like why Japan doesn't really like people eating while walking, but I know if you go to certain markets like Nishiki Market or things like that, there'll be signs that say don't eat while you're walking. I think you should not be obnoxious or loud or film people's faces on subways. I think that, I don't know if that's like a legality thing, but definitely just be quieter and like more mindful of your volume and your noise. Don't be the annoying tourist, basically. Other thing is to not tip. I think that's a pretty basic one that most people know, but tipping is considered rude in Japan, so don't tip. Another thing is to not flick your chopsticks together, like how you get rid of splinters going like that. Don't do that in Japan. That, I think it shows that you don't like the quality of the chopsticks they buy, and it shows like it's kind of rude to be like, hey, I don't really trust the chopsticks you buy, or something like that. Another thing is that when you pay for things, there usually is a little tray where you put your money in. You don't hand your cash straight to the person, and Japan is pretty cash heavy, so you'll see yourself using cash a lot. So you usually hand it to the tray, put it in the little tray, and you use 2 hands to put it in there because it's more respectful. Don't do one hand, don't do like a toss of your money in there. Put your bills down and coins down with 2 hands. So even though Tokyo is a larger city that like most people know a little bit of English, and you don't have to like know a lot of Japanese to be able to get around the bigger cities, but I definitely think it's good to learn some of the language before you travel anywhere. You don't want to expect people to accommodate to you, but you know, I think you should learn some basic phrases like excuse me, thank you. Another tip is that if you're staying with hosts, it's polite to bring gifts from your home country. So if you're from America, for example, I know it's pretty easy. I found that previous host families that I've stayed with love baseball items or things from Trader Joe's. Just that was kind of like a giant list altogether. So I think we're on number 5. I don't really know, but number 5 would be to make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes. Like, people are not joking when they say that you're going to be putting in the steps every day. Make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes. Prioritize comfortable shoes over looking cute. Make sure that the shoes that you get are also like easy to slip on and off if you're going to a lot of temples, because a lot of the times you'll have to take off your shoes and you don't want to be there struggling in like Doc Martens with the laces and everything. Leads me into temple etiquette. Definitely look up some temple etiquette. Like, there's this thing called temizu. It's basically like you have the water cup, I guess, on a stick. I don't know how to call it. I don't know what to call it really, but it's like a cleansing of the hand kind of thing, and you don't want to do that wrong. You don't want to pour the water from your hand into the thing again. Like, just please look it up. Okay, I think this is my 6th tip, but don't be afraid to try something new like an onsen. So an onsen is a hot public spring, like a hot public bath kind of. So common onsen etiquette is to be naked, so don't wear any swimsuits, don't try to cover up like that. No tattoos because it's seen as like association with the yakuza or like gang members kind of. No loud chatter, don't be like laughing and talking a lot with loud voices in the onsen. For women or like people with long hair, you're expected to tie your hair up so it doesn't get into the bath. And you must wash your whole body and your hair with soap prior to getting into the bath. And they usually have like a little station to do that, where it's like you sit on a little stool, kind of like a shower stool. You wash yourself and they give you soap and water and things like that. They usually provide towels. Some places will have like a towel rental service kind of where you have to pay for it, but it's usually not that much money. So don't push yourself out of your comfort zone if you know, because I understand the hesitation of letting people see you naked, but also it's very normal in the culture there to do like public bathhouse. I think just kind of growing older, it's easier for me to be more comfortable with my body, because if you asked me to do this as a kid, I would probably not be open to that. But it's a very refreshing and relaxing experience, and my sister and I love to go to it together. But we both have tattoos, so this is something that I see a lot of foreigners asking questions about. It's just like, do they have onsens for people with tattoos? Yes, there are some, but just make sure you do your research ahead of time. Some places are like more willing to let people in with tattoos because they understand a lot of foreigners will have tattoos, or, you know, just moving away from the idea that it's like immediately means you're in a gang. So just do some research on that. Stay hydrated. You don't want to faint in the bath. Like, it's very common to drink some nice cold milk after. And lastly, no phones allowed, but just leave your belongings in the provided lockers. Some onsens are pretty nice. They have an indoor and outdoor bath sometimes, and sometimes they even have a cafe. Tip number 7, if you love anime or character collab kind of stuff, then make sure to look at Emi Richu's collab cafe videos. She has a whole bunch of tips on like how to find cute anime collab cafes or merch in Japan. And the website that she recommends is also something that I have found and frequently look at to make sure I don't miss anything when I go. It's called Cafe Collabo. It shows any anime related things, from cafes to events to pop-ups to merch that they're dropping. It's just like such a great resource to look at what's happening when you're there. So for my last tip, tip number 8, I think that if you're booking anything for Japan, you want to make sure you're doing it in advance. Like, for example, the Ghibli Museum or the Ghibli Park. I did book Ghibli Park tickets the last time that I went to Japan, and for the Ghibli Museum, it's 1 month in advance, but it'll usually be like, it'll open up 1 month in advance, 10 a.m. Japan time. So make sure you do your time zone conversions correctly, because I did it wrong, and I missed the opportunity to book for the Ghibli Museum this time, unfortunately. Okay, so for this portion of the video, I'm going to show you like items I'm bringing to Japan. But for the first thing, I am bringing this vacuum seal bag, but you do it by hand, because I don't know about you, but I plan to do a lot of shopping, so I've never used these before. Hopefully they work. You can just get these on Amazon or whatever, but see, there's like the little valve that you open and then you take the air out. So hopefully I can use this for like plushies or clothing. The second thing I'm bringing, I'm not going to show like in full, but it's basically all the travel details and accommodations and like my Airbnb bookings, but I have it printed out so that I know like where I'm going and stuff like that in case I don't have internet connection. It's just like a backup. And I do have a printed out version of my passport as well. Oh, I forgot to mention that, but you have to carry around your passport at all times, or else you could get fined, I think up to like $500, just as a foreigner, you should. Brings me to the next thing. It's just a little passport cover. You can't even see it, it's still in the packaging. Okay, so yeah, this is just like a little simple passport cover. This is for Ryan. I have a pink one. The next thing I'm bringing is a little bit of melatonin for the flight. We got really lucky with our flight times. We're gonna like land pretty much when it's like 5 a.m. in Japan time. So on the plane, we're trying to sleep. The next thing I'm bringing, I like never brought before when I travel, but it's I think a pop-up little like laundry basket. Not really necessary. I usually just toss my dirty clothes in the corner, and I like plan to do my laundry there too. But I thought it'd be cute to have a little thing to organize my little clothes in. The next thing is this little travel box for jewelry, and I feel like my jewelry always like tumbles and like rolls around in my suitcase. I do put it in like a little makeup bag kind of thing, but it would be so much nicer to have it in an actual little box, so it looks like that. Next thing are some eye patches. This is just me being fancy. I never do this, but I thought it'd be nice to have some little eye patches for the flight. Next up is this little luggage tag. I have a little Sumiku Gurashi one. It's those cute little characters on there, and I haven't written my name or anything, but I plan on getting a luggage in Japan. Hopefully the Miffy luggage. Hopefully, because I love it and I've seen it everywhere and I want it, and I don't have a luggage of my own, so I'm pretty much going there with a duffel bag and then hoping to buy a luggage there. The next thing is this portable charger. It's a MagSafe one, which will go perfectly with my phone, and I don't know why this is so thick and fat, but it literally, like, I'm pretty sure it holds a lot of batteries, so I'm very happy about that. I think Ryan has his own, so just make sure to have a portable charger because you don't want to be stuck not knowing directions or like not having your phone. Next thing I'm bringing is something that you should all bring to Japan, like actually bring it. Bring a little notebook because you'll see from my last trip I got some stamps, and there are stamps that you can collect from like so many stations and temples and like places around Japan. Look at that. This is a one-piece stamp. There's just so many places to get cool stamps, and I would highly recommend bringing a little tiny notebook to keep with you in your bag at all times for some stamp collecting. What I'm bringing are these reusable bags. So a lot of the times at the konbini or when you're shopping, they'll ask you if you want a bag. At the end of the trip last time, I just had like a lot of plastic bags, which is not really great for my luggage and for the environment as well. I do have two, one's for Ryan, one's for me. It's just from IKEA. They're not the cutest, but they will do, you know? And the last thing is also from IKEA. It's kind of funny. I just needed one of these and I think it'll come in handy. So now I'm going to be talking about some of the bookings that I've made for Japan. I did talk a little bit about them, but basically the gist is that you want to make sure that you're booking things in advance and like seeing how much in advance really that you need to be booking for activities and events. Sometimes bookings won't open up until like a month before, but just make sure you look at like, you know, at least like 3 months before, look at all the stuff that you want to book. Like Pokemon Cafe needs reservations, Kirby Cafe, a lot of different things. So just make sure you're looking. So for my fun booking stuff, I did book a kimono rental experience, and that's really cool because I've never worn one before and I've always wanted to, but I just never had the chance. So I'm really excited to do that with Ryan. Another thing I'm booking is a lash service. I've never gotten my lash extensions or anything like that done before, but I'm really excited to do it because I did hear that people like to book a lot of beauty services in Japan, and they're gonna do LED lash extensions, which pretty much means that it'll be more waterproof and it should last longer. Another thing I booked is a Mount Fuji day tour, and this is something I did book on Klook, so it should be pretty straightforward. I think someone is picking us up at a station and then they're gonna take us around different areas near Mount Fuji for the day, and we're just gonna be able to see it, and it's gonna be so beautiful, and I'm excited I don't have to do much thinking that day. Thing I'm booking is a reservation at a like kind of fragrance shop. It's to make your own fragrance. That should be fun. It's in Asakusa. And another thing I'm booking is an omakase reservation, and that's gonna be in Tokyo for Ryan's birthday. So that should be pretty exciting. Never had omakase before. Okay, so since this is a Japan prep video, I kind of wanted to talk about like what services I'm getting done, just to, you know, because I do like a good fit pick when I travel, just getting some things done pretty much. This weekend I have a hair appointment, because as you can tell, this hair is pretty grown out now. Look at that. It used to be dark blue, which is kind of funny because now it's like so light. I do like this color a lot, honestly. It's been really cute, but it is just kind of too grown out at this point, and I do wear a lot of pink, so I feel like it doesn't match too well. And my hair used to be pink a lot of the time, so we are going back to pink. So that's the color we're going with. We're doing something new, kind of like a creative color. Another thing I'm getting done are my nails this weekend, because as you can tell, they're very stumpy short right now. I kind of need to have them that way for my job, so when I get back, I do have to take them off because it will be kind of like longer gel X and I can't do my job with them, but excited to have them for the trip. And then lastly, like I said already, I'm booking an eyelash appointment while I'm in Japan. And I usually am never the type of person to get a lot of like beauty services done. I usually do my hair at home. I don't usually get my nails done, but I figured why not? Because this is a trip that I'm gonna go on with Ryan, and it's gonna be really exciting, and it's kind of like our 2-year anniversary trip. So, you know, I'm getting my stuff done because I'm gonna look cute. Okay, so that's pretty much all for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that if you guys end up going to Japan or things like that, that these tips were pretty helpful. If you have any questions of like, you know, any Japan planning tips or like anything that you want to ask, feel free to put it down in the comments. I already have my friends asking me like how to plan certain things and like different questions here and there, because